Welcome to the Occult Rejects. In this episode, we got a packed house. We got a party going on over here. We got I got Jin the Ninja and I got Headless Giant. You already know who they are. I got two of the Occult Rejects co-hosts with me, and tonight as guests, I got Humble Among.
Hey, whoop whoop.
And then we got Hope Balthazor. And we got Dreadlock Juggalo.
Whoop whoop!
There you go. All right. I wasn't sure if Hope was gonna do one too. That's good. You want to get one off?
Right
There
there,
you go.
Whoop whoop.
All right, there we go. We got a lot of systems now. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, this is the Gathering of the Juggalos 2024. It's something that I've been talking about recently on the podcast. I'm definitely going to the next one for sure. Besides the fact that sorry, I gotta mute somebody here. Besides the fact that I mean, I do like a lot of the artists that are going to be there. I am like hugely impressed with like one for the amount of people that go, but it's just like, you know, when I have seen clips and stuff, it's just like, yo, like to me, there seems like there's magic going on there in a sense.
100%.
And the artists myself, listen, I'm an occultist, and I call myself an occultist. I'm into magic. I'm into all that stuff. So it's not bad when I say that I think there is magic or maybe a little bit of occultism going on there, but not in a negative sense. I'm just very intrigued, and I think it's just wild to see that many people get along and just have like a great time. So I know Humble Among went, and he is somebody I'm going to get on the show also because he does make his own beats and he does rap, and he's actually pretty fucking good in my opinion.
Hey, thank you.
Yes. And Hope went there as well, and Dreadlock Juggalo went there as well. So
sure did.
And real quick, we're gonna go around the room, and I guess Humble, you want to let everybody know like what your deal is and what's up?
My deal is I'm a Juggalo. I guess I'm known as like a Juggalo journalist at this point. I've made 5 Gathering of the Juggalo documentaries. This will be my 5th one. I've gone the last 5 years that they've done it. Well, since 2019, went this year and filmed yet another documentary. I'm kind of in the middle of editing right now. Man, it's like you said, it is a magical experience for me. Every time I've gone to the Gathering, I've learned something, or something in my life has changed for the better. Man. We can talk a little bit more about the magic and stuff, but
yeah. Well, one cool thing too is, I mean, you've even met some of the artists playing there, so I mean, that's pretty fucking awesome too.
Yeah, I like to consider some of the artists my friends. Darby, I would consider a homie who's been on the Occult Rejects podcast before.
Yeah, I really like Darby. He's a
Devereaux
cool...
as well. I would like to consider a homie.
Yeah, I was actually very lucky to get them on the show.
Yeah.
Chapter 17, baby.
Yeah.
Yes, I am actually a big fan of the Chapter 17 stuff, for real. All right, so Hope, let everybody know, kind of know what your deal is with
So I've always just kind of been an artistic person, I guess I would say, but I fell into tattooing all out of my future mother-in-law just randomly one day saying she thinks I should be one. And my dad happened to be dating a tattoo artist at the time, an amazing tattoo artist. She's the owner of this shop. And I just reached out to her and I was like, hey, can I try a tattoo? And she was like, sure, come down and try some on some fake skin. And so I did my first tattoo, and she was like, so when do you want to start? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you did a better first tattoo than I did. I was like, wow, what? She's like, you're natural. You should pursue this. And so that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years. And makeup's always just been a big passion of mine since a young age. I've every like Christmas, birthday, people are like, what do you want? I was like, art supplies and makeup. That's all I like ever said. And so I'm very self-taught with all of that. And my mom was also into makeup. My mom's also the Juggalo that got me into being a Juggalo.
Oh, really?
Yes. I believe her first gathering was 2017. And my first gathering was 2019, the Super Gathering, which was amazing. And yeah, I was going to ICP shows with my mom before this, and I just enjoyed it. And then there was one show Ouija opened up for ICP, and I was like, this Ouija Mac guy, I really like him. Who is that? And that's where my so always love ICP, but I really like Ouija Mac. And I'm sure anyone that follows me on social media can see that plain as day. Always sharing his music. And anything
honestly,
chapter 17.
If it wasn't for Mac, I probably wouldn't have gotten back into that style of music again, because I kind of did fall off. Like, I mean, I grew up listening to ICP when Great Malenko came out. You know, and then like when Mac and Darby came out, I was like, yo, this shit is fucking hot.
Hell
literally,
yeah.
like
listen to this shit again.
It's just like a new spark to the scene that I feel like it just needed. And there's people that fight it still, and I'm just like, you can keep fighting what's cool, that's fine.
Well,
but
what I was hoping is, I mean, listen, at some point, I mean, ICP, I mean, they're just gonna not, you know, eventually they're gonna retire or bow out. And I was like, I hope kind of like chapter 17 will be taking their legacy.
I feel like they're carrying the torch. I do.
Yeah, I hope. They got some fun artists to do it. So
there's a funny sort of thing going on when it comes to ICP and the Clown Posse. It's like when they get attention from the mainstream, that seems to win when everybody sort of moves away. But then once they're not getting attention from the mainstream and doing their own thing, that seems to be when everybody starts to converge. So when everybody was making fun of ICP, it's like it fell off. And then everybody got back into it once they got some new blood in there. So I think there's a really interesting sort of phenomenon going on with that.
Definitely.
And then not to forget about him, last but not least, Dreadlock Juggalo. Let everybody know where your stuff is at and what your deal is, and you know, all the gathering and stuff. That one was your first one, right?
Well, yeah. So this was my first gathering. What my deal is, there's not enough time for that. No, I'm a dirty scrub. I've been down since 2001, give or take. My cousin Lindsay, actually, when I was 12 years old, came to our house in a Great Malenko jersey, and he had his hair spider braided. And me and my friends thought that was the coolest shit ever. And from that point, we like dove right into ICP. So that's my, I guess, indoctrination to the clowns.
Awesome. And before you finish, you might have. Oh, okay. Before you finish, though, let everybody know like where they can find your stuff as well, please.
I mean, I don't know. My YouTube channel, Dreadlock Juggalo. I don't be promoting myself like I should, maybe, or whatever. I do some art and stuff, some B-rated like art and stuff like that or whatever. And then I try to do little, I guess, interviews like this. I'm gonna try starting to do with some artists, and then my whole dreadlock journey, I got that posted up on there. I'm at 9 months in the whole process of it. So really, my channel is just so some homies can hang out for like the people that haven't got to go to the gathering or don't get to attend as many concerts and stuff like that. It's just an outlet for us to come hang out if you want to hang out and just talk Juggalo stuff. And Humble, I've been watching Humble, believe it or not, for quite some time, and he does a good job of that. Like, I never want to step on nobody's toes. Mine ain't as in depth. I ain't got all that info that Humble has, but I try to touch on some topics, current topics and whatnot. So yeah.
You got a really good gathering video that you uploaded too. Promote that. We watched that on stream last week.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, we watched that.
Bro. No! Wow!
I even mentioned on my show when I had King Wicked on. I told him the only reason I knew who he was is because I saw him on your page.
Bro, and I gotta give you a shout out back because I asked him. He's gonna be one of my guests, and because of you finding him on my stream or my channel or whatever, he literally told me that I'm like, hey man, I know you're a big superstar and shit, but you want to come do it, slum it, and do a show on my stream where I ask you like 21 questions and that's that? And he's like, actually, I will because of you. I got a little bit of a following from somebody I didn't even know. So like all around, dude, thank you. I love you for that. That was awesome. Like crazy.
Yeah, outside to Whoopconda. Whoopconda sent me the link to that while we were doing a Twitch stream, and then we watched it.
Whoopconda's fresh.
Yo, I want to give you props. The shit that you did where you showed on the map, like a dot of where you were, like in the video. That's a really good fucking idea, bro. Props for that.
Steal it, because you have the edit ability and stuff like that to really like do some stuff. I'm just basic on my phone. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not mad.
Yeah, I'm
all right,
stealing
so,
shit.
like I had mentioned before, I think everybody's link should be in the bottom. So I already got Humble's in there. I think I have Hope's Twitter and Instagram, and I think I definitely have Dreadlock stuff in there.
Oh shit, Cheese. Never mind. Cheese sent me the link. My bad. Sorry, Cheese. Cheese House sent me the link.
Nah. However, I appreciate it. Like, I just want to say to all the homies in the chat, I love you guys. Thank you for embracing me. I know it seems like I'm a new Juggalo, but I just got to say on this stream, I promise you I'm not. I've been down for a minute. I guess online, I haven't really like been in the scene like everybody. Maybe in the last 5 years have I really like kind of, I guess, got into the online Juggalo scene. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, much love. Shout out to EC Juggalo. I seen him in the chat. Yeah. That's a real ninja. That's who you need to have up on your stream. That dude will support you for no reason at all. That's a real homie. Much love, EC.
Yo, that guy took stickers from me too. Yeah. Real quick, obviously because Dreadlock, Juggalo, and Humble Among have their own show. I was gonna, and I did mention we've talked about how Hope was kind of in. She's a tattoo artist and she does do art. I was gonna show some of that real quick so people just get an idea. If you happen to be in Wisconsin and you're not too far from a shop, maybe you can go get some work done.
Yeah,
I would love to do any Juggalo tattoos for my fellow Juggalos.
So we got this, that stuff.
No, that's great work.
Ooh.
I like that one on the right.
You're good at that fine line work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit on the left is sick.
Yeah.
That fine line work.
I really do love
look at that cat one. That's crazy.
I love doing realism, especially with animals. It's like, I don't get to do enough of that, but I absolutely love doing it.
It looks better than some of the work on my body.
Oh shit, that sun and moon one. God damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one.
Have you got to do like a chapter 17 anything yet?
Yeah, well, she's right here. Do you want to see it in person?
Yeah.
Let's see. There's the Kuromi chapter 17.
Okay.
That's definitely posted on my page. And then I just did the Dark Planet on her. Is it?
Oh shit, I see that. Yeah, on the side of her head. Interesting.
Yeah, it's dope as fuck. Oh my god, I can't fucking. How does this camera work,
It's
bro?
very weird. It's right here. Here we go.
There we go.
There we go.
It's
Awesome.
it's healing. It's peeling a little right now. So.
Right. And then here's some of your, your other art.
Anamoya.
So that's like just there's the on the left is my first photo shoot I ever did for fun. I was my friend, she's a really good friend of mine too, and I actually do tattoo credit trade with her for the photography. So I love doing trade work too. That's the benefit of mine. Here's Riot and me with our Anamoya
My best
shoot.
friend in the whole world.
We had a lot of
Whoop whoop, bestie.
Whoop whoop.
You know what this kind of reminds me of?
Play that shit.
That's from my first photo shoot as well.
This reminds me a little bit of man, what was that? Witches of Salem.
Oh yeah.
At the end, when you unfortunately you got the two priest-looking dudes fucking jacking off, and she's in the middle of them. Yeah, when the Scarlet Whore
right?
is like rising. It reminds me of this a lot, actually.
This, yeah. Another one.
Was that like glow in the dark tattoo ink, or was that just a picture?
Those are projections.
Ah.
Oh,
Whole basements like that.
Yeah, it's all Mylar film and projector
really?
and lighting. It's insane. It's really cool how she does it.
all
Our
right.
neighbor did those.
Yeah, my neighbor is a really good photographer as well, and
That shit is sick right there.
he had seen he was seeing some of the stuff I was doing. And he's like, "Hey, I love taking cool photos."
I
'cause
never
he loves
felt
horror
so close to you.
photography, and he's very much was just like, "I want to take pictures of you doing something creepy," and I was like, "All right, well, this is perfect," because
Yeah.
I had pre-ordered my Anamoya CDs, and I didn't realize that the cool pre-order, because you always get like a special item, and
Right.
special item is the scrub that Ouija and Darby wore in their video. So I was wearing my patient scrub in this shoot.
I would have bought a pre-order if I knew it came with something else.
Yeah.
Yo, when Darby was
No
selling all those
shit.
spoons, all those shovels, I was gonna be a dick and be like, how much for all of them? So I know I get the sun now. Or that other
Oh,
one person will be the lucky winner. I was like, well, what if I buy all of them? Then I have to get it, right?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
wanna be-
by default.
Oh, that's my
man.
favorite one.
Yeah, and this is also a good look at what I do at the haunted house. I'm going to be starting that in the next 2 weeks, and I'll be doing that till the first weekend of November every weekend, other than the few concerts I'll be catching in between. And
Y'all look good in your pictures there, but I was gonna say that C17 looks good regardless, no matter where you see it. It's just like,
little touch of
Has
it always.
anybody noticed how big Halloween is going to be this year?
Oh,
I don't know if
I
anybody's
feel
seen
like,
it.
yeah, it's got a lot of people are into it this year. It feels like more than what
I've
it
seen
used
so
to.
many decorations going up in August for October 31st. So
Yeah,
it's going to be
it
big.
definitely went up early this year. Stuff was going up early.
all right.
Man, these are from my most recent shoot that I had a lot of fun with.
Oh, you look so good.
The photographers were playing around with their own ideas with the little sheer veil over me.
Mhm.
It made a really cool effect, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, plus, like, was it that color, or did they add that color themselves after the fact? Is that post like?
They definitely filtered. So what was more realistic to what you're looking at is what's on the left, like kind of
Okay.
with the real colors of what was around for the most part, little enhanced, but definitely the right photo. The Lexi Shoots girl, she definitely does this very warm, dark filtering with her stuff, and I really like it. They both have complete opposite vibes, but it's so cool. You can see because the one on the left is the one photographer, and the one on the right's the other photographer.
Gotcha. Yeah, you can see the difference. Sure.
Yeah, different
Really
style.
big dreamlike vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was cool. I was holding like a cool
Sorry.
light behind me for that one to get that.
Oh, you held that yourself?
So they were taking a photo of me. I was just holding a light bar behind me to get the photo. Yeah, with my other arm.
That's cool. Awesome.
Badass.
Yes. Thank you very much, Hope. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So real quick, just because I do like getting people's opinion on this. We'll go around the room with Humble, then Hope, and then Dreadlock. What's 17 mean to you?
Oh man, 17. So 17 for me is a extra special number. First of all, it's a special number in Juggalo culture. It's the number of albums ICP sold. With Carnival of Carnage the first day, or basement tapes, depending on which version of the story you want to believe from Violent J. But also, it's like a sobriety thing with me because May 17th was the day that I stopped drinking alcohol. So that was just a coincidence, though. did not plan that really like that. I just like, I was done with the shit, but then I realized it was on the 17th. So that was like, I don't know. With me, the number 17 is like, it means like I'm on the right path, so to speak. So like when I don't know, when I see a lot of 17s, I feel like it's like the universe or the dark carnival or whatever telling me you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody out there, but that's what it means to me.
Gotcha. And what about you, Hope?
Well, as far as obviously 17, repping chapter 17 very hard, but it's the Juggalo number. That's the biggest meaning to it to me is the Juggalo culture, and as Humble said, I have heard the selling the first 17 CDs was what I've heard of, and that's the theory I have believed since.
Gotcha. What about you, Dreadlock Juggalo?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in that same area. The Juggalore to it holds true. You gotta respect it, know a little bit about it, you know. And as far as Ouija coming into the picture, he kind of like embraced that number, put it more back out in people's faces. So maybe somebody new Juggalos coming in that might not know the histories, but they're listening to Ouija. You know, that 17's back in your face. And rather Ouija took that and from that or I don't know the facts on that. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a big part of my daily because you're always seeing it, hearing it, and, you know, repping it, everything on us, my wrist, my tattoo, my, you know, Dark Planet shirt and stuff like that. It's all around and it lets people know who we are and what we're about kind of. So, yeah, I mean, that's
the chapter 17 thing comes from Violent J's book Behind the Paint too, by the way. They skip chapter 17 in the book. If you read the book, there's chapter 15 or chapter 16 and then right to 18. There is no chapter 17 in the book. So chapter 17 is like a reference to the missing chapter.
We are all the pages.
We are all the pages, exactly. Hope.
I like that. Good play. All right. Humble's been there. You've been there a few times, correct? You already said. And
yeah, to the gathering. I've been 5 times since 2019. The Super Gathering.
We're the same.
Yeah, same first gathering. You've been 5 times as well?
Yes.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go every time.
Me too.
I literally it was very hard for me to get out to the gathering this year. I had an emergency with my cat. I had to have a surgery like the day before we were about to leave type beat. And she's okay, thank God. But like that almost made us not able to go. But I still, even after dropping $5,000 randomly for this cat surgery, saving my cat's life, we still made it fucking happen. And like, that's how dedicated I am to like making sure I go out there because it's very important to me that I be out there.
It literally feels like you can't miss it once you go.
Yeah.
Ever again. You just can't miss it again.
I can second that being my first year.
how was it? So now what? Hope and Humble, your first ones were both 2019. Is that what you said?
Yes,
Yep.
that was huge.
The what Super was Gathering, the 20th annual.
All right. So what made it kind of like a super? Like who was like something like I guess maybe just cover a little bit of that. Like who was like some of the people you saw then?
Man, Ghost Main, Suicide Boys. There were so many fucking dope artists that year. Ghetto Boys,
Tech 9.
Yeah, Tech 9. That was the last Tech 9 gathering.
I've had a few people ask me to get him on actually. Tech 9.
Yo, that'd be crazy.
Like
you can pull a Tech 9.
He should go on. I think he should.
You know who told me they'd come on, and I got all excited, and now I haven't heard back from the person, so I'm probably gonna screw myself up when I mention the name. But Sutter Kane told me he'd come on, and I was like, "Holy!"
That would be interesting.
I was like, "God damn, really?"
Yeah,
I was like, that is crazy. Yeah,
It'll probably still happen. Just needs to be.
I hope. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think you could get Sutter Kane for sure. That's an old school name. I rember that.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I was like excited about that. I was like,
that's wild.
Yeah. So who? How was it? I hope for your first one that you went to in 2009. Like, was it a shock when you got there?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Honestly, so like my first festival I ever been to was like Rock USA as a teenager, and I saw Rob Zombie and Godsmack, and that was all really amazing for me. But that's definitely a more structured festival environment, and then you go to the gathering, and it's literally, I describe it as going to another world. It seriously is, because it's just a beautiful atmosphere. It's wild. There's everyone, you can just see, so everyone's just so happy and comfortable with who they are and just everything about themselves, like, which is as they should. But just a lot of people feel like that's their free place to be, which definitely explains why everyone always goes through their little after gathering depression, going back to the real world, where people feel like they have to hide themselves and not fully be themselves. And I don't know, it's just a very special thing. And I think that's why anyone that has gone is like, I need to go to that again, because you don't want to miss that feeling ever again.
It's funny.
Nice.
That post-gathering depression is real too.
Yes.
Dreadlock.
Gatheringitis. What's up?
How was it like for you? Like when you first walked up there for your first time this year?
All right. Okay, so there it was. Let's paint it. Ready? Okay, so I'm pulling. Dude, it was fucking incredible. But the thing about it is I had a different, I guess, approaching to it than maybe most juggalos, because online we like to be trolls, and it's for good reason, because we just don't want the wrong sorts coming into our community and trying to tear it apart. But I had some people that were really talking some serious smack and like, oh my God, Jay, I'm gonna tear you up. And I'm like, well, all right. So I was apprehensive. I was ready to swing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna let y'all stop me from going, but I'm ready, you know? And so me first getting there, I'm just watching my, looking over, trying to see faces that I know, stuff like that. Well, then there was the whole delay on us actually getting in. So we had the car parade, that I like to call it in my video anyhow. And that's the big ballas and car passes getting in while the rest of us wait or whatever to get down there. So like my first entry, like getting there, by the time we got our tent and stuff set up, it was like 3 a.m. It was dark. You know what I'm saying? So that next day we were making loads with our wagons to bring more stuff or whatever to our camp. And my point of it is, like, it wasn't that. I started seeing people, and I'm like, all right, here we go, Shay. That was my homie that was with me. I'm like, look, I don't expect you to jump in, nothing like that, whatever. It is what it is. And then people started just like, hey, I know you, and running up and giving me a hug and whooping, and the magic started happening. Like, I didn't have one. If they were there, they didn't let me know it. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of those trolls that was gonna, settle business never came to me like that or whatever. And then it was just like it kicked in. The whole unadulterated freedom to be whoever you want to be, do whatever you want to do, and nobody cares because they're being who they want to be and doing whatever they want to do. Like, it's a high like no other. Like, don't get it twisted. I roll up, but nothing. It's not even that. It's a different like high, man. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I'm rambling, but dude.
Yeah, right. No, I get that.
It seems like the playfulness and sarcasm doesn't really transfer well online. So you see these comments and you're thinking, oh, I'm in for some shit. And then you get there and it's like it's all love.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like I have the same thing. Like every year someone will threaten to kick my ass, or multiple people will threaten to kick my ass. But here's what happens. Usually if you do see those people, it's suddenly like, oh, hey, man, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to be like that in the comments. Like, I'm sorry, dude. And I'm just like, yeah, it's whatever, man. It's whatever. Like, I've never had an issue like that. Like, it's usually backtracking and apologizing.
I did have one person simply say, well, I was just testing you, filling you out. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's funny.
And I'm not going to say there's no drama at the gathering like that. There definitely is like beefs or fights or whatever. But like, I've personally never had an issue like that.
I've never had any issues. So
I've heard that even like the security there is like pretty lax, and everybody kind of just
a lot of them are juggalos.
Yeah.
A lot of them are juggalos working the event and shit.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't try talking to him or getting to know him, and like it was weird and cool and whatever, smoking in front of cops. I'm just like, okay,
Yep.
whatever. I'm on my way. You do you, buddy.
Something
It
I
seems
do.
like-
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say that it seems like you could tell the health of a culture by how much volunteering goes on. And you could tell from the gathering of the Juggalos that there's a lot of volunteering going on, you know?
Yeah.
We lift each other up usually. There might be one or two toxic people, but that's in anything, you know. You
Yeah,
can't
facts.
just segregate that to one culture or whatever, you know. You're
Yeah.
gonna have a bad egg in everything you do, and hopefully there's the majority is, you know, on the right track, and you just kind of got to deal with that, I guess.
Definitely.
I have a quick question for you guys, all three of you. Hey, Humble, Hope, Dreadlock. I've been lucky enough to join Nick on this journey. He kind of lets me be his tag along. So I've been lucky enough to be introduced to the Juggalo scene and to all
Yeah.
the interviews that he's done. So something that Hope just said really, it kind of triggered not triggered, but it sparked something in me when she said you have to go outside, go to the
Jesus.
gathering, and become who you want to be, sort of like the apotheosis of
Sorry, my
who you are,
apologies.
and then you leave and you kind of have like a little bit real world civilian depression. And so I just want, if any of you or all three of you can like just explore that, and like who are you when you go to the gathering? What is different, and what is different about that location in particular, if there is a difference?
Oh man, like I definitely relate with that heavy, because I mean I got to work my shitty little day job in a factory to make my money, you know, like to make my living. And I don't feel like I fit in there at all. I feel like a complete outcast there. In most elements of my life, I feel like a complete outcast. I don't have a lot of friends in real life where I live.
Ah,
Most of my friends are in my I don't have friends. I have family like who are online though, you know what I mean? They're all like spread around the country and shit. And so when I see them at the gathering, that's like one of the like maybe 3-4 times if I'm lucky in a year that I get to see a lot of these people. So it's like, you know, it's a very intense experience because that's like my family, you know? And so when you leave that and you go back to that stale ass, normal ass life, it sucks. It really can suck. Yeah, I totally relate with that shit heavy.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I can understand that. Makes total sense. Yeah, like fuck, now I have to come back to the real world.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm surrounded by
But it
assholes.
don't feel like the real world. The real world feels like when you're at the gathering, you know? what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
The real world don't even feel like the real world. It feels like this fake ass world that we all have to kind of pretend to be a part of or whatever.
Why we call the gathering home.
Yeah, exactly.
ET phone home.
Yeah, big
right.
facts.
Reality is there, and fantasy is the life we have to live or put on or pretend to live because society tells us to. Me, I'm a little different. Like I'm still my same goofy self. Believe it. My community is so backwards, and I hate their way of thinking around here. But I don't care. I got a hatchet man and an LGBTQ flag hanging from a flagpole outside my house, and I let everybody know it. You know what I'm saying? I'm blasting ICP. I went to our local hippie fest dressed as a juggalo. Like I don't try to, you know, and I'm not saying Humble does, or you know what I'm saying? But I definitely don't try to hide I'm a juggalo, or like I'm okay with my weird, quirky self. Ouija Mac has a song called I Don't Have Any Friends or Friends, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? Like I got homies, as Humble just said, you know, online and stuff like that. But I don't really have any friends right here in the real world. So you're on autopilot at work doing your 9 to 5 to make a living. And I'm sure most juggalos are thinking about always like, okay, well, you know, counting days or whatever till the next concert to at least be with a homie or the gathering or Juggalo, Ohio. That's a big thing. And, you know, yeah, I mean, and so how he said, like, for me, this was my first time. And at first I thought that was kind of just like something everybody says, you know, the whole like gathering-itis or whatever. But it really does hit you, and almost instantly. Like the homie that I went to the gathering with that kind of helped make it possible, he's went the last 7, and I hadn't seen him in 10 years. So that was crazy, on top of it being my first gathering. And like I said, when you're there, your endorphins are on like 20, or whatever. And it's just crazy. So then when you come back to this, it's just like dead. And then your body's like, whoa, I don't like this. And yeah, I don't know, that's my little spiel on it.
This on it too, yeah. One thing I want to ask too. I know this year they did actually have rides, right? They had carnival rides.
They did last year too.
All right. See, I was gonna ask. Was there things that you guys have seen like progress? I guess like in being added to like the show. Like besides the artist, what things there? There seems to be plenty of other things going on. Like what else is going on?
I was gonna say, I have to say this year I find one of the coolest years with the amount of things that the fellow Juggalos were just doing around their own camps. They weren't even actual events on the timeline. There was just so much fun. Humble knows. Just so much side stuff that was just so fucking cool. Like I was just amazed at that was like a whole different sense of magic that was there this year that I don't even think was at other ones I've been at. This year was because I already knew there was people complaining about the lineup not being as big as they would have liked it or whatever. They were like, there's a lot of like the underground ones, and I'm like, everyone deserves their turn, and it was literally just as amazing as it always is, if not better, in my opinion, this year. Because there was something about this year that I did get the opportunity to be a photographer for Juggalo show, so I must say that was a whole different experience, being able to have a press pass and go in front of the gate for the first 3 songs of performers.
That's cool.
That was the best like opportunity I could have ever had. And then this followed up, and you asked me to do this, and I was like, what is happening? The carnival is providing.
Right.
Well, that's weird. I guess, right? That's wild.
Yes.
That's pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Good. Humble, I know you were away, and you've gone to a bunch of them too, as well. And I guess this kind of goes for everybody too. But like, I know like there's people have booths there, and there's like things going on. But like, have you seen like a progression and like it grow kind of since you've been going, Humble? With I guess,
I feel like this year was kind of low key. I know they got some criticism for the lineup being like weak or whatever, and I know that they're pushing next year for being the 25th annual as being a big year. So I feel like this year was kind of like a little bit underattended. But I think the vibe was really on point, at least in my experiences. And I feel like with the stuff that I saw at the gathering, like I saw a lot of like rogue parties and like renegade shows, if you will, little pop-up shows at tents and gathering like the big ball of sites and shit. I performed at like 3 of those and shit. And like the stuff I saw there, like me and my homies, like some of the stuff that we're just doing just for fun, like some of that shit like lets me know that like the future of this shit's real strong. Because just some like Cheesegate, Cheese House in the chat, my homie Cosplay, Bloom Unit.
Ruby, I love you, Pookie.
We love
like,
Ruby.
Like, a lot of these Darby, a lot of these motherfuckers are carrying this shit into the future, you know, like, so to me, I can't help but look at this gathering and like see where it's going, see where the culture is going and growing. And I think next year is going to be a very big year because they're saying this like the Gathering of Legends, and they're bringing back everybody who did like a legendary performance. They're trying to get back. So, and I don't know. I think there's potential for it to be very, very big. I think they say they usually get about 10,000 people at the gathering. Legend Valley can hold 70,000 people.
So many though. The videos and stuff I saw, I was like, yo, that looks like fucking like a Grateful Dead show or Woodstock.
Yeah. It's definitely like when it's time for ICP and shit, they pack out. Like it's crazy.
Bruh.
Yeah.
ICP, seeing ICP. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, Jeff.
cheese.
No, I was just gonna say, seeing ICP for the first time, I got to do the Armageddon Faygo, and that's a topic. If you had it on your little thing to bring up, it's an awesome topic. If you have the money to pay for it, and or you don't even have to pay for it, I guess, but you don't get the
just
extra
run up there.
benefits of meeting and stuff. I done Armageddon Faygo. I paid for it, and it was the greatest thing ever. Getting to meet the clowns, getting the little extra gifts and necklaces, and I mean, there's just nothing like having homies dumping Faygo in your face, you know?
Even on you and your camera.
Yep.
No, you can.
Yeah.
Can't you? When I had thought about going this year, and I think the reason I didn't go is because I really wasn't going to know anybody there. Really, I had noticed. I think if you, well, now next year I'll be able to go. But if you pay extra, you got to actually meet them too. And like honestly, I mean, I think I'm guessing it was like $100, and you actually got to meet these people as well, right?
I think it's like 150. So
Sorry,
there's like the Rockstar seance thing where they kind of put on a little show for you. That's a little bit more expensive.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah, I heard it was really funny this year. They kind of do like an improv show for you, for like really late night type beats. But yeah, I think it's like 150 to do the VIPs typically, maybe a little bit more, maybe 200. I can't really remember. I've never done VIP with the clowns. I've only met Shaggy once, really briefly, and I still haven't met Violent J. So I don't know. I'm hella nervous to meet Violent
But
J.
don't you? I ain't putting your business out there. But don't you be like talking to him?
I
don't
text
they
with
know
Violent
you?
J. Yeah, I have Violent J's number. I text with him. I have not met him though.
Violent J.
Right. Nah, that's. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. So I done the Star Seance thing that he just mentioned, and the only reason I could do it is because my Facebook paid for it. I can't afford that shit. That's $350. It's crazy. But I just got lucky, and Facebook threw me a bone, and I got it because I didn't know if I would ever be able to go back. So why wouldn't I do it? And when I finally got to meet Jay and Shaggy, like I was nervous, but I didn't want to choke up. And I rehearsed what I was going to say to him, like over and over. And when I finally walked up to him, I'm like, look, Jay, I know you don't really like doing signatures and stuff. You think it's lame. You'd rather make a memory and shit. And I looked at Shaggy, and I'm like, honestly, I don't think you care. But with that being said, I tried to dig it for like the best item I could find to try to blow your wig back. And I have this antique Faygo bottle. It's a 1959 Faygo bottle. And that's what I brought them to sign. And they're like, whoa. And Shaggy's like, this probably came out before we came out of our mom's dicks. Like, it was great. It was the greatest shit ever. Like, I think it was worth it. And I would tell people, I think it's worth it to do it once if you have the money.
Okay.
I had thought about that.
Sorry, Nick.
No, go.
Oh, okay. So I had a quick Faygo question. This might be like a total noob question, but what is the best Faygo flavor, and what is the cool Faygo flavor for Juggalos?
That's the Faygo with some Jameson.
So
I don't know. It's definitely unique, and I loved. This year was the first time I've ever actually been drenched in Faygo Red Pop, and that was an experience, and it was delicious. And I would say that would be a good one because it's red and kind of got the blood aspect
going with it. So, but for the most classic one, I feel like most people would go with like cola. Otherwise, that'd be the other one because every concert's Diet Cola basically. But because I wish I knew. At this point, I feel a little embarrassed that I haven't been counting because I should be honored with how many shows I've been to because I can't count anymore. I'd have to really go back and like remember every single one because I've been going since, I would say, 2019 or 2020. So,
5, 6.
My favorite is, I really love cream soda, and I also really love the diet root beer.
Somebody just said diet root beer all day in chat.
Yeah,
Just-
diet root beer is my favorite. That's like it's the most an ice cold diet root beer is so refreshing.
Nice.
Yeah, diet
What's-
root beer is what they throw typically. Most
is it?
time. Yeah, typically for whatever reason it's root beer for the most part. But
It-
yeah,
I-
it's diet because it's less corrosive on the less corrosive on the
Bro,
venues.
I swear it was moon mist this year.
They did moon
know
mist
what?
the
Got that
first
too.
show.
Changed up a lot more now. Like I've been seeing a lot more change ups. So
Yeah, they're playing around with what they're throwing.
Do
Definitely.
they use diet a lot? Do you know if that's something they use a lot to normally diet version of their
yes,
soda?
diet's the norm because diet's not sticky.
It's less
sounds
corrosive. It's less corrosive on the venues too, because
Yeah,
the
that's right.
regular soda back in
They
the day
be
used to
complaining.
just eat up these venues.
I
Sugar.
I probably saw them back. Oh God, this is a long time ago. I saw them in Dark Lotus in New York at like the Roseland Ballroom, and I mean, I got fucking covered in that shit. And when I left, I was just like, it just dried off, and I was like, yo, how come I'm not like covered in syrup? I'm like, this must be like diet, or there's no sugar in this Faygo.
Yeah.
Yes,
I did find that weird. I was like,
So I'm gonna answer for the same question real quick. If you want a daily drinker, I like the fireworks, especially when it's like ice cold. That's that shit, or the cotton candy. But if you want to like try something new, like the Dreaming's okay, but if you haven't tried the candy apple Faygo, try that because that thing's actually pretty good.
Sounds good too.
This has been fun, y'all, but I gotta pop out. So thank you
All right,
for
Atlas.
having me.
Of
Yep.
course. Later, brother.
Whoop.
All right.
Back.
So it's just me and Jen. Something. Oh yeah. One of the things I was interested in is I saw a lot of booths. What's like like tons of things going on too. Like, could you guys like maybe humble? What was like some of the interesting stuff you saw with the booths and stuff?
Well, like there's like merch row and shit where there's like tons of booths, and like there's definitely one of the more, I guess, frequented booths in the merch row is the dominatrix one where they be spitting in dudes' mouths and slapping them and shit. See Dreadlock Juggalo now. But that one's probably one of the ones where the YouTubers flock to the most and gets a lot of attention. But you know, then you just got your regular ass merch booths, and there's like some carnival games type stuff going down there. But then they have like, you know, different tents and stages. So there's different events running all day, basically, all day and into the night. Like basically from 12 p.m. Until 4 a.m. there is something going on. And even if it's not official, there's something else going on. So you use pretty much 24 hours of entertainment at the Gathering of the Juggalos if you choose to seek it out.
Yeah. And if you try sleeping, it can be very entertaining because my favorite part is trying to catch a little bit of sleep and just listening to the microphones going back and forth around throughout the grounds. It is some of the funniest shit.
Really?
Yeah, it's constant megaphones. Really, the fireworks were kind of light this year, I feel like, but usually there's constant fireworks too.
We were close to them this year.
Yeah, there were some that
Dude,
were
everybody was talking about the fuck your sleep parade, and like I was waiting to hear it, and I never heard it.
I didn't either.
I
And we
feel
were
like
on
it was kind of
purpose
chill
made
this
that.
year. I don't know. It was definitely kind of chilled out this year.
Definitely.
What was some of the
Last year was-
like? Did you happen to catch any booths that like caught your eye that interested you or anything?
Me?
I always loved
Go ahead. You're fine.
Tom Wood is my favorite. He's like his art. I'm as an artist, I really, really love his art. And this year he actually let me go behind and get really close to his canvases. So like I'm gonna be buying one of the huge version of Yum Yum Bedlam because when you see it on a large scale, there's so much detail that you don't even get to appreciate unless you're up close seeing it. He puts a lot of effort into what he designs, and so just getting to see all of his art is really cool. And in general, a lot of the Juggalos art, I'm just attracted to seeing people's art in general. There's a lot of booths with people selling their paintings, and even some of the clothing that they sell there is pretty cool too. Not just the merch, just like with the Juggalos. I believe Wicked Dream Creations, if I said
Yeah,
that, say
yeah.
that right. Yeah, absolutely love what they do. Their mirrors and everything are beautiful. So if you want good quality stuff, they definitely have it as well.
But if you're just like walking around, you'll see Juggalos just setting up to sell their paintings or their art everywhere. It's like all over the whole gathering.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome.
It's like a giant rummage sale.
Yeah.
It's flea market.
Ironically, she had mentioned Tom Wood. I bought one of his paintings or pictures and had him sign it. And like, I was wearing my Discord shirt, and it's ironically one of his images. And he's like, "Huh, I find it funny that y'all use my image for your Discord." And I'm like, "Is that okay?" Like, and I was honestly like, "Uh-oh." And he's like, "No, that's awesome." So, yeah, Tom Wood's tent was really cool to see all this stuff laid out. He's a really artistic dude. Maybe that's somebody you should try to get on your stream. He's
Definitely
up here and talking to. He does his Tom Woods float as well. That's a big thing for Juggalos if you can make it or whatever. So, yeah, and then I almost had the chick spit Faygo in my mouth for $5, but I decided to just get a picture with her instead, you know. So, yeah, and one thing, I'm going to do a little shout out here. Bleed the Wicked Menace, he was one of the artists, okay, that was there. I got one of his shirts on right now or whatever. It just came out. He is like dope as shit and the most underrated artist I think that was there. That's my boy, and I can't wait to see him just thrive. So his tent was cool. He was real humble. He treated you like a homie, not like a customer, you know, like Bleed's awesome. So yeah, a little mini shout out to somebody else.
I actually messaged him to come on the show too. For the Magi's.
Yeah.
I mean, just my opinion. That guy spit some deeply occulted fucking shit.
Yeah, he's got his song.
I think he's pulled his plug out himself a few times. You know,
man.
Yeah,
he's cool.
I definitely think he's rode the lightning. Jen, was there any questions you wanted to ask before I start asking more stuff?
Well, I'm actually quite curious to hear what you have, Nick, because I'm ready to get into like turn it a little more occult or like just talk about the
I wasn't even
or spiritual vibe of the carnival or of the gathering.
Yeah, you know what I did want to ask, and then we'll move on to that. From what I saw, there seems to be like even like wild costumes and totally decked out.
Oh yeah.
Humble, what's like from you've been going? I know Hope has been going as long too, but like
I mean, yeah, it's like cosplay everywhere. They do costume contests too, obviously, but yeah, there's it's cosplay everywhere. I mean, with this culture, a lot of it is, you know, it's kind of built into it. Like you're painting your face, you're doing a little bit of cosplay almost just if you want to paint your face. So it's really fucking awesome. If you go to any clown show, you're gonna see like an element of cosplay at this point.
There's this oh no, I plan on if I go next year, like Humble, if I ran into you, I'd probably have to be like say something to you. Like you probably wouldn't even know it was me. That's how I expect, you know, when I go next year. There's this lady on Instagram that I really want to get it. I don't think she's making anymore, but like got this orphan mask where it's got like the eyeball, like the two rings of the eyes around the head. These eyeballs actually open and move, and then it's got like these fucking angel wings with eyeballs on them. The fucking angel wings flapping shit too that comes out of the back of your head. I was like, oh, I'm gonna walk around dressed up like the fucking orphan and fuck it.
That's exactly
they look weird, but they're like, well, whatever. Like, you know, who cares? Like,
you have a million jugs wanting to take your picture.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to be judged fucking walking around with that shit.
Nah, they're going to want to take your picture, take pictures with you and shit.
Right. They're your best friend.
Oh, nice. So like, yeah, have you ever seen like any specific like things that stood out to you, like you remember seeing like done as like a costume? Humble.
This year there was a guy who had the Great Malenko on that was like really kind of mind blowing.
It was huge,
yeah,
like foam or something. I don't even know what that was made out of.
Yeah, that one was pretty mind blowing. I saw that motherfucker walking around in the pit a couple of times, and I was like, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That's where I saw Pikachu. That was pretty dope. You had the clown that was like free hugs.
Definitely, yes. There's a few good costumes like that. There was somebody that dressed up like the Beast of the theme.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he won first, right?
Place.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's cool as shit.
Yeah, it's in a lot of the gathering photos somewhere. I've seen it posted, and it's really cool because just to see someone take the image of the advertisement for the gathering and to like make their own full beast out of it was just really cool. That's
Yeah,
what
that's the homie. That's the homie Frogger.
inspiration.
That's the homie Frogger who did that shit. He's the shit.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
how a lot of my stuff comes too. I use a lot of my Ouija Mac merch. Like I'll like take the imagery from it in some way, and then I'll create a look that I feel like complements what I'm wearing. And sometimes I choose to go like really. I used to start off very, I feel like, normal with it all, and I've taken more of a direction with it that's, I guess I like to call it creepy pretty. So because it's
That's that sexy lady. Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Would you guys say that part of Juggalo culture is a remix culture? Because of what, just going off of what Hope said, where you kind of use elements, images, and then kind of remix them in your individual style or life or whatever.
Yeah, like a form of inspiration. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that in there, I would say, for sure.
I just definitely feel like there's a lot of originality with it because I don't know. It's a very just the way the lyrics are presented are not easy on the ears to certain people if you're not ready to hear it.
I think that would kind of tie in with the fact that we're free to be whoever we want to. So whatever you might like enjoy in your regular life, you might be able to tie in with a Juggalo swing. Like I do my Juggalo paintings by my pond because I also enjoy tropical fish, you know, or that might not be the best example, but you know what I'm saying? Like you're taking something that you as just an individual, maybe not just a Juggalo, that you enjoy or are passionate about, and you try to tie it in with what we are as Juggalos. Or
Yeah,
that's just an
you said
idea.
that perfectly because that's exactly what I do because I love taking the makeup and the SFX scene and pulling the Juggalo culture along with it because it's just, I don't know, I just really, really love all of my Juggalo music and the underground music, and it's not what's on the radio. So my best way is because I also appreciate like the beauty of stuff that's trending and that's cool, but I feel like it both can be blended. So that's kind of where a lot of my inspiration gets pulled. I spend a lot of time on Pinterest too. Pinterest is a very good way to find inspiration.
Like a weird, scary baby with face paint.
Yeah. Yes, I love that.
That's that profit, baby. Ouija shared that shit, and that was like the dopest day ever. Like I feel like me and Ouija know each other without really knowing each other. That's like my brother from another mother.
He's shared me more times than I can count on his story, and I know that's where a chunk of my followers come from. So,
bruh.
I can never.
I don't think I get no followers. I think that's where I get haters from. They're like, why are they sharing him? Because he shared my face on his shit before, and I'm like, what? So yeah.
He shares. 9 times out of 10, I end up following he shares because it's just more family.
Right. It's almost like he's like, okay, this one right here. Now that's what I mean. That love, that passion, it never dies, man. And Ouija, that's why I love him. And there's Juggalos that don't like Ouija, but they can. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some old head haters for the most part.
They can take their hate and keep it over wherever they are. I don't need it.
Well, speaking of Ouija, do you guys have any particular like up and coming young bloods that you guys want? Like who is there anyone on your radar, or are you thinking about, or really inspired by, or just is it just all about the Darby and Ouija?
No, I
Wait,
really,
are you saying, do you think somebody new will be on chapter 17, or like how are you
In
meaning that?
general, other people.
I just meant at the gathering, like when you guys
Oh, no, yeah.
yeah, like who in particular caught your eye that's like a young blood that's not
I got one right
necessarily-
away. NGS.
Okay.
That's somebody I think
NGS?
he would be very interested in interviewing as well. He's very smart and he works very hard at his craft, and I feel like he deserves so much more credit for what he does.
Awesome.
So outside of Bleed as a new coming up, because believe it or not, Bleed's new, or not new, but he's just coming up or whatever.
Someone said his show at the gathering was his first show.
Yeah, ever. He
Yeah.
told me that himself.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, crazy. Man. So I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Hirschman. He was on the Pirate stage this year. He also was on the Omen stage with King Wicked. He's a new name, and he just done his song with Gingerbread, and I really dig it. I've been rocking with it a little bit or whatever. So I mean, as long as they stay on their grind. I mean, I don't know that they'll be the next like Darby or Ouija or whatever level. If Bleed fucking pumps out some shit, that boy could be up there. That's just my thoughts. Maybe I'm dick riding. I don't know, but Bleed's that shit, man. I don't know who else that I would. Cartoon Bondurant. If you don't know who that man is, look into him. He is awesome. He's this 5'2" leprechaun, but he's awesome, and he raps like no tomorrow. Like
I always
you
think
put him on
it's
anything.
Juggalo are either really short or they're like really tall. It's like there's no.
Him and his boy Enoch Mortis, they're really good. I just dig their style.
Yeah, I got to shout out Cheese House, Will Gates, Cheesegate. I got to shout out Dot Strife. I got to shout out Dot Strife. Frankie Goldie and Acetone Gloom Unit. Shit, man. My homie Kosuke, my homie
I like
Odious.
Percy Bones too.
Yeah, Percy Bones is the shit. Umo is the shit. Big shouts out to
Yes.
Umo. Shouts out to Bridget Bites. Shouts out to Jane
Yeah.
Doe. Shouts out to Molly Gruesome. Yeah, man.
Humble.
The
Got 'em
Clockwork
all.
E.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of fucking dope Juggalo artists out here.
Yeah. Jin, would you like to ask some questions?
Sure. So
Yeah, you
okay.
can move on to the ones you have.
Well, I'm really interested in this idea of the Dark Carnival. I don't know if you guys have even watched the other ones, but this is something that is returned, maybe perennial question of the series is what is the Dark Carnival, and is there a spiritual or religious component to it?
I would say I'm going to answer that second question first. Yes, there is definitely a religious or spiritual component to it. The Dark Carnival is something that Violent J sort of conjured up based off of an experience he had when he was a young man, where that I believe they were what do you call it? Oh shit. Oh Jesus Christ. I'm forgetting. Anyway, he had these experiences where he was visited in the night by what he calls like the spirit of the Dark Carnival, which was a clown that allegedly like dropped these Joker's cards in front of him, and he swears to God that this happened to him. But he took that concept and ran with it with ICP and wove all of these themes into the music for years and years and years. And it revealed at the end of the first deck of Joker's cards that the carnival is God, is how he put it. And I think he just means that and if you look at the Joker's cards, they're each sort of like reflecting different morals or different places you might be in your life and shit. And so I think it is sort of a rough guideline to just not be a bad person. I think is the ultimate message. And I think that's really all there is to take out of it, is just try to be a good person and try to be kind to each other. I think that's what I got out of it.
And
Ultimately.
eradicate the bad guys. That's
Yeah, get rid of them. Get rid of the pieces of shit. Because that's, if you listen to the music, at least with ICP, they're killing pieces of shit. They're killing the worst people on the planet. And I think that I think a lot of people miss that.
They're telling stories too. There's times where
Yes.
people they're talking all weird or whatever. They're telling a story, and
Yeah.
you gotta listen.
He's telling a story from the point of view of a piece of shit stalker. He's not advocating stalking.
No.
Dreadlock, what do you think?
Okay.
I believe for sure there's I don't know. It's maybe not like the spirit in the sense that most people would think, like religious or whatever. It's
Christian.
it really again, it goes back for me to like a Euphoria. If y'all seen my video, it didn't like go viral or nothing, but so at the end of the show they played Cherry Pie. ICP did, and like normally I'm a goofy person around people that like know me and whatever, but I still kind of keep some, like, I don't know, I keep some within. And when that song started playing, like something just hit me and I start dancing like you wouldn't believe. Like it's a laughing video, go laugh at it, like it's beautiful, but like I really felt like almost in a trance for a minute, like for that song. Like it wasn't just like me wanting to dance, like something made me want to dance. Like it really is empowering when you're around that many people that love you or at least don't hate you. And as they said, I agree, like the clowns want us to just be good people. Don't hate, don't be bigoted, don't be racist. And, you know, try to get through this shithole we call life, you know, the world, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my take on it, or thought.
I think that was honestly, each of you gave a great answer. That's exactly my takeaway from everything that like Nick has invited me to do on the show with Juggalos and Dark Carnival. It's just been very positive. I feel like it's always uplifting. Like whenever a Juggalo comes on, I may not be in the best mood. Obviously, I like working with Nick a lot. He never bothers me, but you know, sometimes you're not always in the best mood, but I feel like it's very uplifting and the music is really uplifting. I'm a big Ouija fan, Nick knows, and I like Isham as well.
Yeah, shouts out to Isham.
I like Isham a lot.
And yeah, so everything that you're saying, like it totally resonates with me. There's something in it that I recognize, like in a metaphysical way, and I won't get too deep in it, but I'm sure Nick has more questions. But yeah, I'm just like, I feel I just feel the vibes. I can't even explain it.
What was it that you actually asked, Jen? I know you had asked something about the Dark Carnival. I had to get up.
Oh, no problem. I asked them what if the Dark Carnival had a religious or spiritual sort of undertone and what that meant to each of them.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, no, it definitely looks like it's got something going on there for sure.
I will say there's real quick on that subject, on a different outlook of it. There is some controversy, and maybe Humble will have a better opinion of it. I think on this we were left with you're on your own to have your own belief, but I think there's a lot of controversy on the actual religion. There's a song called "The Unveiling," and it's there's a line in it. It says, "Truth is, we follow God. He's always been behind us. The carnival is God, and may all juggalos find him." You know. So, and then there's a whole group of juggalos that hold true to that on like almost a religious standpoint. And I don't want to dig into this either too far, but in my opinion, I find it hard to believe in a God as a juggalo with how accepting we are, because we're not going to judge you if you're gay or whatever, as long as you don't come shoving it down my throat. I don't care. Do you? And there's a dark undertone to Juggalo realm, which I kind of rock with. Not that I'm praising the devil, don't get it twisted, chat. But You know, there's a darker undertone to it. And you have that split of the generation of any jug that's like, I don't know, I want to say, because I'm 32, so I'm going to say like 40 and older, they might be on that other, I don't know, side of, you know, it is more about God, or, you know, and then maybe that age and younger, it might be perceived different. So I don't know, I might have just rambled, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to touch that, how you worded that or reworded it.
I think there is definitely like that he said God for a reason, because I think he meant a higher power, but I think he left it vague for a reason, for you to fill in the blank of what that God could be. The dark carnival is also, I want to stress this a little bit. For me, it's also kind of supernatural or paranormal in a way. The term I was trying to think of earlier when describing Violent J's encounter as a child is sleep paralysis. I think there's a large element. I think Violent J suffers from sleep paralysis. And I think it's something that has informed a lot of the songwriting, going all the way back to that initial clown encounter. And also the witch, the concept of the witch, I believe is also based off of Violent J's sleep paralysis encounters. That's just some weird shit that I think personally, I don't really have anything to go off of other than Jay talking about that shit. But I do think when you're at the gathering, you can feel some element of paranormal activity, some element of strangeness that is underlying everything. And I think that manifests itself in like some of the encounters you have with other people, weird coincidences you have with other people. It's hard to explain other than that, but I definitely have felt that every year as well. And I think that is worth highlighting a little bit here. Anyway.
Thank you.
No, definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about getting on this type of stuff, but I think I'll just ask it anyway. Fuck it. Well, I'm trying to think of how I'm going to preface this too. Because I don't want people taking it the wrong way. I'm an occultist. I'm a magician. I fuck with magic. I do believe I have crossed the abyss and had experiences. And there's a lot of different ways of expressing those experiences. And art, in my opinion, I think art is here because of people having those experiences. And just because of the experiences that I have had, especially when it comes to chapter 17 stuff, I just think it's deeply fucking occulted. And do you think there is that aspect at these shows?
So at Ouija, go ahead.
And again, listen, I also want to say too, I implied that myself, that I'm an occultist and I'm a magician and I do the same shit. So this isn't saying that these people are bad.
Yeah, not negative.
Yes,
Occult does not necessarily mean negative.
Yeah. Thank you. I even hate using that word because it just already has a negative kind of
Yes.
sound.
I feel like even Ouija's performance at the gathering this year was a ceremony in a way. The way he ended it, I feel like that was a. I feel like the whole set. I feel like the whole set was almost a ceremony. But I don't know. Yeah, I would say yeah.
That's interesting. No, I mean that's honestly one of the reasons why I want to go too. Like I can hang out with more people like me.
Did you see the way he ended his set by any chance?
Right,
Nick.
Was that where he got shot?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did the whole thing.
That was
Shot.
shot.
But then he gets resurrected, which is the most important part that I think people missed. He got resurrected, and then he does this song "De-Incarnation," which if you really know some shit about what he's talking about in "De-Incarnation," that's some heavy shit. He's talking about some very heavy shit in that song. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was dark, but very beautiful.
He I think posted that when he got shot, and I shared it like in my story, and I think I took one of Violent J's lines, casualties causes magic or something like that. Yeah, maybe he'd see that, like he understood what I was looking at. But yeah, I definitely think I definitely think some of the stuff that I have seen, it looks like my opinion, there was occult symbolism going on in this performance.
So look, here's what I want to say, at least on it, kind of, because like if you're not careful, we go backwards, not progress. Okay, let me say this loud and clear: Juggalos are not a gang. We are not a gang. That was the stupidest shit ever. We're
And the
not a
FBI
gang.
deemed them a gang, right?
Okay. So with that, out the window, cult-ish, we're really strong. We're passionate about us. And if you've ever been to not even the gathering, but just a Ouija concert, and you're in the middle of like the whole crowd and he's doing his thing, stop looking at him. Just look around you. Turn around.
Yeah.
Like, that's happy. That's what happy is. Your skin's tingling. Everybody that is around you loves the person you love. And, oh, man. Like, praise Jeebus. Because that I will get with you on like cultish, because it's strong, it's passionate. We ain't out here faking. We really fuck with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could almost say, drop this motherfucker, and little old Wiggle is gonna go, fly kicking her.
There's definitely a few that'll be going.
So as long as we don't get back on the negative aspect of it. Sure. And at the gathering, that's what I mean. That feeling of having 5,000, 15 ninjas around me, and that song started going off, and hearing people sing it and get hyped up, it helped like even get me more hyped up, and I just broke loose. And I say that was the carnival. For that 3 minutes, there was nobody stopping me what I was doing. I was just in it.
Yes.
So
pretty much me. Every time Ouija set starts, I had a very unprofessional moment when I was up there for my first 3 songs. And I just yelled, "Fuck yeah!"
Team Wicked! Whoa!
And he looked right at me, and I have it on footage, and I'm like, I'm not in behind the gate. Hope remember this far.
The first time I met Ouija, I typed it out on my phone because I really thought I was going to freeze up, and I started to, and I'm like, nah, you ain't doing this. And I just spit it out, like barked it at him. And then he's seen my poster, and he's like, this is really tight. Da-da-da-da-da. And then it was chill. Me, him, Darby, Kevin, Buck hanging for a minute.
Geez, I'm doing WrestleMania numbers up in this bitch.
I have a quick follow-up for Humble.
Yes, please.
If Nick doesn't mind,
I'll go for it.
Nick, you can jump in on this. I mean, I know it's your show, but you'll have I think a complimentary way to express this. So when Humble brought up the deincarnation, that to me that is very much the star card. Like everything that you kind of described to me, it's very the star card. It's like where
it's 17 tarot deck card, right? 17.
Yeah, exactly. And where it falls, like on the tree, and just everything about it. It's about light. It's about luminosity. It's about sort of finding your way through matter. It's about here, Nick, help me out a little bit. You're better at tarot than me.
Card. I mean, I think that even gets into eyeball symbolism, which is what I'm just fuck it. It's just my opinion. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But like even psychocidal, I think like in that video, it's all eyeball shit that kid's showing. Even like the hexagram dome that he's under.
Yeah.
Our cornea is built like that, and that spider's your fucking optic nerve, probably, most likely.
That's interesting.
That's and then the white guys is the sclera of your eyeball, shit like that's going on, in my opinion.
Oh, that's interesting. I love that.
Yeah. So like I already got lost where I was going now. Fuck.
No, so Nick is the eyeball king. He's well known for this.
Yeah. I think the star card even goes into eyeball symbolism, and I do think that I have seen stuff like that in Ouija Max stuff. And I do think like kind of like moving from one thing to the next. I think possibly like when the parts like inside your eyeball, the beginning part is water. Aqueous humor, and then you go into the back, which is like vitreous humor, which now that contains blood. Some people say that's when you turn water into wine. And even the sclera looks like a seashell, and that's what you baptize people with. So it's like really interesting. It's almost like you have the Garden of Eden inside your eyeball too, if you start looking at it weird. And a lot of Catholic shit pops up. But I do think the star card is even showing like the moving of the water. Once the eyeball and the pupil starts to change, the water in your eye will move and push and stuff, and starts making the fleur de lis and all that crap. So I know that was just a long, drawn out fucking answer, but the star card I think is also deeply occulted too.
I mean, I think that's
The
what
eyeball.
people love, Nick. I think they love to hear your eyeball stuff. I know. I think it's really interesting, and I think
I've
it
always been
is.
fascinated with eyes my whole life.
Same.
You know, if you study eyes in the brain, you'll probably know more than most people out there who call themselves occultists. Because in my opinion, that's what magic really starts to come down to: is your eyes and your brain, because that's your whole way of perception and understanding reality.
It's the
And
way
then
you're filtering the world.
Yeah, and how to ride the lightning out of your fucking skin prison. You know, basically separate your soul from the flesh, and you're gonna blast off. So there we go. That's magic. For anybody who doesn't know what magic is, fuck it. I just told you the secrets. You're gonna have to die, and your soul's gonna have to go out and come back. There you go. Anything else, Jin? Ask some more questions because I pretty much got all of mine off.
Okay, well, I mean, just to go back to that, I mean, that is also what, like, ride the lightning, like you to change from form into formless, from formless into form. It's like that malleable process, and I've heard this in many Juggalo lyrics. This kind of, even in the reference to the witch, like that's very 17 as well. It's like the dragon, the lightning, and the whore, the Scarlet Woman. I'm not calling her a whore. I'm just that's parlance for the word. That's not what I mean. But it's just it's those two things together. It's the woman riding the lightning. It's very powerful and very dynamic. And I think that that's sort of what happened with the gathering and with the Juggalos. Like I think Hope was saying like 2017 was like a big, or I think her first show, or I can't remember.
2019. Yeah, 2019.
2019, I apologize. But this year it was very electric, and this year's a dragon year. So I think that's really interesting in how like Matt came in and kind of reinvigorated it, and it's kind of like electric dragon energy that sort of cycles back through. And that's very 17 as well. Like it comes and it goes.
And the fact that you said that about like cycling back, it's kind of it kind of goes back to how I think Nick said this about Ouija kind of like re-brought back, or at least I've heard this, and it's kind of my thought process. Like, so Ouija may not be for everybody, but you can't deny he brought back like some energy. He is Juggalo hype. Like, love him or hate him, he's doing the thing, and he brings people in, and like, so I don't know if that even could relate to that.
I mean, I feel like he has
whatever.
so much music. There's got to be a song you like. Like
There's a lot of style variations, especially with some of his earlier stuff. He was playing around with a lot of crazy styles in some of those early tapes.
Right.
Well, when I think Dreadlock Jay was talking about like going to a show and you're feeling like it's electric, it's love, it's like a circuit. That is like a very figure eight, and like someone mentioned in the chat, Leroy Jenkins, 1 + 7 is 8. So that is, you know, that's also very interesting. That's a very magical magician's number. If you look at the magician card of the tarot, the infinity symbol is right above his head, as above, so below. So he's the connection. He's the live wire. He's bringing what's above into the below, which is us. So that's what I think of also with ICP when he's talking about the carnival as God. It's like it's the love that you have for each other, what you call the family, the interconnection that you have. That's bringing God to life. Because if you don't have that, then God is just the carnal ground, and the carnal ground is just dead. But with all of you, you bring it to life. It's your love that makes it real.
Nah, I dig that. That's dope.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I dig this.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a perfect.
So then, you said y'all are practically out of your said questions. Let me flip the script. Probably wasn't ready for it. What fascinates you about us? Like, I don't know who you found first. Probably Humble, because he's a bigger channel, known, whatever. I don't know if he's seen me or Hope or whatever, but like, what just generally like fascinated you about Juggalos, if it ain't like, and I know you said you kind of listen now or whatever to some Ouija, or I don't know if you even said you've always listened to ICP or anything like that, but let me just kind of turn it around there.
Yeah, for sure. I started listening to ICP when the Great Malenko came out.
Okay.
On and off since then. I did see them play with Dark Lotus once. I had a friend that I was begging him to come to a rave, and he says, I'll go to a rave if you come to an ICP show with me. I said, fuck it. All right, let's do it. And I had a fucking blast. Yeah, no, I was like, yo, that shit was crazy. I was like, dude, it was the same thing as a rave where everybody was just cool and there to have a good time and like you're a family. So I was like, yo, that it was just different music, but like everybody was cool. It was fun. You know, I got the Faygo showers and all that shit. And I continued to listen to them on and off. And then it was like once I came across Ouija Mac and Darby, I really started listening to them. But I mean, I really didn't stay with ICP throughout like my whole listening to music career. There's something that I would go back and forth with. But with Ouija Mac and Darby and like other people, I actually continuously listen to them a lot. And I guess the thing with the Juggalos, you know, I'm just gonna keep it 100. Again, when it comes to the music, I think it's deeply occulted. So I figured like there's just a good chance I might come across somebody who actually understands things as I do. You know,
right.
Experiences that are different that sets me apart from other people that I can't talk to just because I haven't met them. I don't know where the fuck they are. Or unfortunately, they lie about who they are for certain reasons and don't want to tell you. But yeah, I just figured like I have a better chance of probably coming across somebody whose black sun stays eclipsed, you know, as Violent J would say.
Fair.
Yes. So no, that's my honest question. Is I was hoping that like, you know, I figured it was a kind of a community that I might find other occultists amongst, you know, that do listen to the same music. And this is the thing. Again, for me, I think the art, I will call it art, the stuff that I think Ouija Mac and Darby do, you know, their horror stuff. I do think, I always say, I think that's just an avenue to express experiences. And just for me, from my experiences now, my experiences, I think have been like totally life-changing. And it's the most beautiful fucking experiences I ever had. But I don't forget like the death aspect or the dark aspect that had to come before that rebirth. That does stick with me a lot, and it can kind of look a very horror or very dark, but it's not. It's the change. It's the vision of beauty that I see before the love happens with magic, and to me, I think Ouija Mac and Darby paint that very well. So I like listening to that stuff because I feel like when I listen to them, I was like, these dudes have had my experiences and know what I've gone through. So.
And you had said that you're going to try going to the gathering next year, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I definitely go.
What do you think is going to be your hardest part to overcome, or if at all challenge, or whatever going?
Believe it or not,
is there anything you're worried about or concerned, or have we pretty much just put your mind at ease?
Yeah, the only thing that will probably actually stress me out is if I go there, like I do want to document it, and I might be. I mean, I guess I have to check out the situation. I mean, I'll have a car and a parking spot, and I know Humble already told me I really don't have to worry either. I have like recording equipment, you know, expensive recording equipment that I would like to maybe bring and use a little bit because I do want to document it. I just maybe be a little stressed out about that getting fucked up, but like
yeah, unless you're like hoping actually like in the splash zone. You're did your shit actually get wet?
Yeah, my camera survived.
Did it get wet though?
Oh, can my stuff get wet?
No, did your camera catch Faygo?
It totally did. It was drenched.
Yeah, I figured. We
felt
saw
like
so
one of the
many
clouds were just dumping it on me. Like it was just never-ending pouring on me and my camera, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So I actually like took it off and put it over by a speaker, and then just pulled my phone out because I know my phone can handle it. But I was a little worried. And the next day,
unless you're in the splash zone like that, you should be all right. Like.
Exactly.
Just record from the edges. There's like a tent right there, a med tent. Maybe get somewhere over there.
Yeah, they bring out the fire hoses
because people be launching Faygo across that whole main crowd. Just so you know, don't be in the middle, like the very back or the edge.
Bring a poncho.
Right.
Put a bag over the camera, yeah.
I didn't have a poncho.
I literally saw that.
Out.
I literally saw people with ponchos over their cameras in that little camera pit.
Yeah, I missed that. I didn't get to get one of those, so I was one of the ones just getting.
Well, I'm glad your camera survived.
Yeah, me too.
Dreadlock or even Humble. Any of you guys have questions before we wrap it up? That's totally fine if you want.
You mentioned going to see Dark Lotus. I feel like a lot of the really heavy occult stuff is in Dark Lotus.
Oh, shit.
How much of Dark Lotus have you listened to?
I've probably listened to, I think, 2 other albums. There was one album.
Have you listened to Tales from the Lotus Pod?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like that's the one where a lot of really crazy heavy shit is
Well,
on Tales from the Lotus Pod.
Yeah, I think there's in my opinion, I think I spoke about this before. I did think that album might have had like a huge Kabbalistic influence.
Allegedly, they were reading a lot of dark magic books, as they put it back in the day when they were creating that. I think there was this guy, I think Mars with a Z, who was like kind of linked in with ministry and shit. He was practicing all kinds of very strange things, and he brought a lot of that into the group. Mars might be a really good person to bring on here to talk about some of that shit, because he really brought a lot of that
Awesome.
straight up magic into that group. That would be maybe someone to reach out to.
Yeah. Well, try it. That's what's gonna happen. No, that's it. You know,
He's got an interesting story too, because he became Christian at a certain point in his life, and I think he's still a God-fearing man, if you will, but he's not as hardcore as he was with it before. Best Violent J diss yet, Jesus said. That shit was crazy back in the day. He claimed he was Dark Lotus in a diss song back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Shouts out to Cheese House making me laugh this whole fucking podcast.
Shout out here.
Shouts out to Carnage in the chat too. Carnage from horrorcore.com days is in the chat.
Oh,
that shit
nice.
fucking blows my mind, dog.
That's cool. Yeah, is there any people in the chat you want to say what's up to that are in
No,
there?
shouts out to Kosuke too, of course. Shouts out to EC. We already shouted out EC, but shouts out to EC again. Shouts out to Riot in the background with Hope.
Yeah.
There you go, Cheese. I got more Riot for you.
I love you, Pookie. I love you, Pookie Bear.
Does any of you know who Carnage is?
Carnage is a homie from back in the day from horrorcore.com. I knew him back on horrorcore.com back in the day. Shit's wild to me. He's been pulling up to streams lately.
Yeah. I see. You mentioned something about the Lima. I thought maybe you saw my tattoo, but I used to. I actually was back in the day a member of the Ordo Templi Orientis, so I do know what the Limic magic is.
I'm stuck.
I will shout out my old lady in the chat, Insane Like It. She does digital art and shit. So if y'all need some art done, she's pretty good at what she does. She caters more to like animals and furries, but she'll do whatever anybody pays her.
Nice. All right, we'll go around the room and we'll plug all of ourselves again, and then we'll wrap it up. Jin the Ninja, what is up? Thank you so much for jumping on. Oh, real quick, Headless had a bounce. Go check out his stuff. The Headless Giant. He's on Twitter. He catches. I think he does Spaces. Does he still do Spaces, Jin? He does, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he does that like every Friday night. Might be like 10 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know. I get screwed up with the time zones. But yeah, so check him out. And Jen, plug yourself, please.
Okay, so I just want to say thank you to Nick. Thank you to Humble, Hope, and Dreadlock J. Awesome. Love it. Woo woo. This is great.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I don't need to plug myself really. And I just think it was awesome to just be included on this Magi Behind the Mic series. I think it's been like an amazing like series, and like a really cool to learn about something totally new and try and think about it in a magical way, but not like lose my own preconceptions of what I've had going into it, and just by meeting people realizing that it's not scary. It's actually it's I recognize all the signs and symbols. I may not fully understand them, so I just want to say that thanks guys, and it was awesome.
Hey, thanks for your questions. You had some really fire questions.
Thank you.
Right.
And Humble, let everybody know where they're from.
I'm Humble Among on everything, YouTube, Spotify. I make music too. Go check out my music. I have an album called Sign of the Times that I'm really proud of. Go check that out. Just dropped a music video for a song called Otherworldly that's shot with nothing but Gathering of the Juggalos footage. Go check that out. Humble Among on YouTube and all streaming gimmicks. Social medias too. Okay, that's it.
Oh yeah, definitely go check out his music too. His music is really good.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
Of course. And Hope, let everybody know where they can check your stuff out.
Yeah, I'm Hope Balthazor. You can find my exact name on Facebook also. Facebook's where I most regularly share my tattoo work. I sometimes share it on Instagram, but I kind of keep my Instagram more dedicated to like my makeup and my Juggalo stuff because I also love sharing footage from the events I attend. And that's usually what you can catch. And now I'm going to be sharing more of that in a balance between the makeup and the footage from everything I get to attend. So everything is Hope Balthazor. I kept it pretty simple so everyone can find me. That is my actual name. I've been asked that on multiple occasions.
Oh,
so,
shit. Really? Wow. Okay.
yes, Hope Balthazor is my name.
Okay. All right.
I appreciate you having me on here. It's my
Of
first
course.
experience doing anything like this, and I'm honored to be able to be a part of this. So thank you. I'm honored to be a cheerleader. I love you, Humble.
I love you, Riot.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Cheese loves you too. See, Cheese, we just got some more Riot for you.
Yes.
That's cool, man. And Dreadlock, let everybody know where they can
Yeah. Hey y'all, for real, these people right here, I can't point at them. Humble right here above me and Hope, they're the real stars. I'm just lucky to be here. I was shocked that that dude asked me to join too. His channel was great, so shout out to him, you know, the host. But yeah, if you want to fuck around with me, Dreadlock Juggalo on YouTube, or look me up on Facebook. Sean Wisnaski, somebody that knows me, which there's a lot of people in the chat that know me. Spell my name if you actually can spell it, and look me up on Facebook. And dude, this has been great. It's cool actually being in a stream with Humble. This is my first time doing that, so that's a bucket list thing there. And it wasn't even on.
We met at the gathering though, right? We did meet at the gathering.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because you're like, you told me to keep doing my stream, and you actually caught me off, bro. I'm like, did Humble really say that to me? Like, you really do have your own rep, and I appreciate you. I love you, homie.
Love you too, dog.
That's great, man. That's what's up. It's really wild. Cool stuff. Yeah, so I guess we got everybody. Thank you all really for coming on.
Hey,
I
thank you,
appreciate
man.
you taking the time. It was really cool just getting to meet you and just hearing about like the whole experience and seeing other people's perspectives on it. And I thank you for dealing with some of the weird questions that we got into.
No, we love that. I love that shit.
I wasn't even expecting to really go there, so I
That's
appreciate
good
you
shit.
doing it. That's pretty cool. And you know, and again, I just want to reiterate, you know, none of that was coming out of a malice way. I do actually think that these people are actually very intelligent performers. You know, I think that they're actually extremely smart and they're saying some real deep shit. So again, you know, that is that. I just want to make that known. And yo, for real, thank you for the chat. The chat was insane. I have never
Shouts out to the alienated.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, my chat will normally be busy at times, especially if, you know, depending on the topic. But I mean, this stuff was just like, I was just like, I can't even watch it. I won't be able to attend the show. So I really appreciate all you people that jumped in and just were really cool. Like, doesn't even look like there was anything crazy going on. Like nobody had to police anything. So that's impressive, especially on social media. So thank you all. And this is why I like to go live, is because I like people being able to add stuff and chat and like meet up and stuff. It's pretty cool to see that happen. That's the end of another Occult Rejects. And until the next one, everybody be well. Later.
Well,